Yo! Alright guys, welcome to today's video. Just a quick note before we start. I tried to change some camera settings to get rid of the flickering from the LED lights in the shed, but didn't work. So the perspective's a little bit out. I'll try and get around it with the editing, but stick around, it's a sweet project. Yeah, it's definitely something guys and girls at home can get stuck into if you've got some basic tools and some skills like that. If not, whatever, stick around and watch.
Alrighty, so I'm just halfway through a quick mow before I go and weld up the Pro Plugger. And I just wanted to show you how different the lawn looks after it's been cut. So, don't know how well that's going to show up on camera, but it looks so much neater after it's been cut. It looks so good. Yeah, like I said, this oversow isn't perfect. It's not as thick and consistent as I would have liked it. It does show up alright on camera, but in person you can see the imperfections a bit more. And someone did comment that they'd like to see the difference between the two grasses, how they integrate. So I'm just trying to find an area where you can sort of tell the difference between them, and I'll have a quick close-up to show you that. Then I'll quickly finish the mow and get the welder out. Alright, so again, not 100% sure how this is going to show up on camera, but yeah, see this tall, the grass that's standing up tall, this is the ryegrass here. This is anything that's a bit taller is ryegrass. So you can see in areas where it's a lot thicker, like check that out, that's where the dogs have weed, and it is lush. Yeah, it's pretty consistent over here. Just try and find an area that has some cooch. So right there, might not be easy to see, but there is cooch in here. So right there, see that there is a cooch runner. That's lying over flat. This is the ryegrass. So the cooch is growing in a runner like that, and the rye is just growing from a single plant like that, just single leaves, individual leaves. Yo, how good does that look? Loving it. Few wobbly dogs, stripes, I'm not the best at them, but yeah, pretty good. So many clippings. It's heaps light actually, it's cool. Alright, time to weld. If you can hear me with all this wind. So I've got my swaged piece of exhaust pipe. Like I said, 2.5 inch mild steel from the exhaust shop. They swaged the end down for me. I don't know if you can see that. So I think that's gone down to 2.25 inches. Now, I went out into the lawn and I just speared it into the grass as hard as I could. Then I smashed on the top of it with a bit of wood and a hammer, and that's about how far it goes down into the turf. Now I know the actual Pro Plugger, you've got these discs that you can slide on that will control the depth. Like you can take a 2-inch plug, 4-inch and 6-inch. I'm just going with the one. So I reckon it goes about that far into the ground. I'm going to try and use the foot, like where I'm going to rest my feet. I've got these bits of like 5mm plate, might even be a bit more, yeah. I'm just going to try and put them about there, and that will, like this will hit the ground and limit the depth and try and make it consistent. Yeah, then for the top of it, I've got these bolts and good old eBay, some push bike grips for your handlebars. So these are going to slide on like so. There's a little grub screw to tighten them up. Weld that on there. Because of the bolt head, I'll be able to get a nice big fat bead on there, and that should be pretty substantial. Worst case scenario, I can just triangulate a little bit off the bottom to build some support, but I don't think it's going to need it. I'll just make sure I do some solid welds. Really simple. Cheers. A couple little tack welds, little blobs of weld there for my feet to grip. Neat little trick to make sure you're even on all sides on a bit of pipe. Get some paper, line the joint of the paper up, slide her up to where your mark is, and now you're like parallel on both sides. Alrighty, so that's it. Solid as a rock, fully welded, strong as hell. My little bike grips on. Let's go give it a crack, eh? Alrighty, let's test this thing out. Oh, I hope it works. Alright, let's do it. She's empty. Let's see how we go. Sweet, so that works. Let's see if they come out. All right. How good? Success. That's sick as. So I'm going to call this the semi-pro plugger. I've just got to now give it a quick clean, and I'll prime it and I'll paint it. Alrighty, so it's been wiped down with some wax and grease remover. Then it's had a coat of primer. Just real quick, rough as guts. I'm not going to worry too much about it because it's just going to get caned. So I'm going to paint it with some of this gear, Septone hammer finish, metallic charcoal. Let's do it. Alrighty, here goes. Not the best painter, but like anything, I'll give it a crack. Always find with the hammer tones I have good success getting the proper hammered effect if I do a really light coat to start with, let it flash off and then do a really thick coat. Try not to let it run. That always happens.